Hello. This is the final part of understanding the difference between voice and diction. This is the fourth property of quality. So, all of your overall sounds have a certain tone. Your voice has a certain tone or timbre. Every voice falls into one of these 14 different human voice qualities. You can also have a combination. We want to learn and again monitor that when we're listening outside from classroom, we can maybe identify these different voice qualities. The only voice quality that I would work on and will work on with you in chapter 2 is to reduce the tension and to allow sounds to easily formulate in your mouth, especially the vowel sounds. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to identify the voice qualities. And I'll give you the definition of each one. So as you see here, voice quality is the overall sound of your voice. So there are some ideas of how you generally sound and why you sound the way you do today. Usually, when you're young, you most closely associate with someone and you imitate. We learn our speech sounds, our voice sounds through mimicking, called mimesis. So your voice sounds the way you do today. Could be because when you were younger, you closely associated with your mother, a teacher, a sibling. That's why sometimes they say you sound like your mother or you sound like your father. That could be a reason why. So it's usually said that we do mimic a sound, and that's how we learn. All of these 14 different human voice qualities, they're not bad. There's nothing bad. They're just different voice qualities, which makes us more interesting. So I'm going to go over each one, but I will have to exaggerate a little bit because to the untrained ear, you may not hear the difference if I were not exaggerating. So the first one is a breathy quality. So breathy by definition is letting out too much air all at once. So while you're speaking, you're letting out too much air. And this is breathy. Well, sometimes we do have a breathy voice. When you enter a building and run up 5 flights of stairs and say, sorry, I'm late, you're letting out too much air. You're breathy. There are some people that have a constant breathy voice. There was an old-time actress, Marilyn Monroe, when she sang Happy Birthday to President John F. Kennedy, she had a breathy voice. Now that's an exaggeration, but we have different levels of breathy voice. And if I just were to talk like this and just have a breathy voice on certain sounds, I'm exaggerating the vowel sounds now so that you can hear that I'm letting out a lot of air on the vowel sounds. So it might not be very easy to understand without the exaggeration. The next one is denasal, my favorite character, Chucky on the Rugrats. There's an error in my spacing here. So denasal is when you have blocked air. So when we breathe in through our mouth, conversational speech, we breathe in and out through our mouth. The preferred breathing is in through your nose when you are using it to your best advantage. And denasal is no matter where I take my breath, it gets blocked. It doesn't come out of the mouth or it doesn't come out of the nose. It just gets stuck back here. So that's a denasal quality in the exaggerated form. And again, if you're going to be a voiceover character, this is something you want to do without plugging your nose. Now, if I didn't exaggerate it, you can't hear it, but this is also a denasal voice because I am blocking the air on certain sounds so that my pitch becomes a little lower. This is a trick that we use with anchors, newscasters, automatically drops their pitch when they block their air on certain sounds. So, see, it's a good thing. Flat is a lazy speech. So when I mean lazy, I don't have a lot of muscle in my mandible or my lower jaw, and it just hung flat. So a flat voice, if I have a very lazy mandible or that jaw, and then my tongue gets flat, and I have a very lazy, and it's probably in a slower paced area like Minneapolis, Detroit. Minneapolis tends to have flat voices. But one that you might be familiar with is Roseanne Barr, the comedian. Again, a great exercise is to watch TV, listen to voices, watch your favorite film. There's some exercises in your book you may want to flip through your book too, and it says, to learn these qualities, listen to your favorite film. Great ones are animated ones because that's the use of all of these. Glottal fries when you sound like you swallowed a frog. Now, we have glottal fry in the morning. Why? Because here are our vocal folds. They are two tiny strings, very tiny. The tip of my finger is the size of the male. Okay, our females are 3/4, a little shorter. So in the morning, because you've been sleeping, so I'm going to enlarge my vocal folds here. And when I'm speaking right now, my vocal folds are doing this. And when I'm sleeping, they're doing this. So when I go to say something in the morning, they have to go from here to here. And they're so tiny and they're elasticized and they need time to stretch out or else they get like that. And then you clear your throat, which is not so good. Just drink nice water. More current, probably Kim Kardashian, I think, has glottal fry. The next one is not has glottal fry like a disease, but she uses glottal fry in her as a tone. Hoarse voice. We know a hoarse voice very well when we're experiencing some screaming at a game the night before, and it's described as uncontrolled breathing, sometimes breathy, sometimes escalating pitch. But some people have a hoarse voice consistently, or a constant hoarse voice. I don't know if you know Demi Moore, but you can definitely seek to find out. Young actors sometimes have hoarse voices because they strain their voice, which is not good.